Hi everyone. Now this is another OpenVPN installation video. The reason I'm doing this is because the old one, it just doesn't work anymore. Both of them don't work anymore. Things have been updated, file locations have changed, security's been updated, all sorts of things, and it basically means the old method simply doesn't work anymore. And on the old video I pinned a comment to help people get through some of the common problems that can occur, but even those aren't working anymore. So I thought the time was right to actually update the video and do a modern one that's working from today, which is the 26th of August 2019 at nearly 9 o'clock in the morning here. So here we are at DigitalOcean and we're about to create a new droplet. So I'm using 18.04 Ubuntu rather than 19.04 because this one is the LTS version, so that's what I'm going to use. Standard and the $5 a month tier. There's no need to get more expensive than that just for a VPN. Data center. So let's go to San Francisco this time. Why not? Now down here you've got different other options. Monitoring user data, IPv6. IPv6 is a good idea in this day and age. We're not going to use it in this because it will just complicate matters, but if you don't know what IPv6 is, it's worthwhile reading up on it. We don't need any of this. We're just going to use a one-time password, one droplet, and we'll give this a name. Whatever. We can do demo VPS. Sorry, demo VPN. Yeah, we'll use that. Okay, and let's create the droplet. So as you can see, that has just been created and it's now available. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the IP address. There we go. And start a notebook and paste that into the notebook so that I've got a quick and easy access to that IP whenever I need it. So we'll just minimize that. So here's the email that I got, and there's my root password. Now I will need to change that when I first log in. For now we'll just put that into the notepad. Okay. So we're going to need SSH access, so I'm just going to grab PuTTY. Et voila, there's PuTTY. So let's start that. And we can now log in to that server. And of course have to accept that. And let's put the password in. So just copy the password and then activate this window and just right click on it and that will paste it in, even though you can't see it. Okay, now we need to change the password, so let's think of something, shall we? Cheddar onion, that'll do. Okay, so we need to change the password, so the current password's still going to be in the clipboard, so right click again, press return, a new password. We're going to use that one. So again, activate the window, right click, return, right click again, return. As before, let's make sure everything's updated, so apt update, make that window bigger. Okay, 6 packages, that's not too bad. So apt dist-upgrade, yes, and we're all good. So while we're here, we'll set up packet forwarding as well. So nano etc sysctl.conf, bang. And as before, let's go down to this line, uncomment it, Control X, Y, return. Okay, so we're all up and good. So let's now reboot. And while that's rebooting, let's set up our shortcut. Okay, so for the shortcut, we'll just create a copy of that, and we'll call this SSH to VPS. Right click on that, properties, and we're going to go to root at, this is going to be this IP, -pw, and our password. Apply. Okay. So, all being well, that should just log straight in. Done. Let's install Open VPN. So that's as simple as apt install Open VPN. Go. Yes. And there we are. Now we need to install Webmin. Webmin page for Debian, which works with Ubuntu. So copy the wget, paste that in here, and there we go. Copy the D package installer, paste that in, and go, and we should get the dependency problems. Yep. So again, apt install -f to force on those dependencies, and away we go. And there we are. Our Webmin address is going to be https:// then the IP address port 10,000. So that's should log us into don't need that anymore. Advanced, accept the risk and continue because it's a self-signed certificate, of course. Okay, so login as root. There's our password. Paste. Remember me. Sign in. Okay. And LastPass, no. Alright, we're up. So now we need to install the OpenVPN Webmin module. So if we go over to Webmin up here, down to Webmin configuration, and then Webmin modules. Now, what we want is a third-party module. So click on third-party module, click on the little thing there, and we need to scroll down to OpenVPN. And there we go. Select that and install module. Okay, so we should be in here. There we are. Okay, so before we start getting into this, we need to make a few adjustments to the way everything has just been installed, because it's not adequate security wise for it to work properly. So we're back into the console here, and we're going to go into the /etc/OpenVPN folder, and if you look in there, you can see we have OpenVPN sysctl.conf. Okay, we need to edit this. So nano and that file, and we need to look for something called default_md, which is the message digest. This is one of the updates. The old message digest that used to use MD5 is no longer adequate, so we need to update that. So if we press Ctrl W to search, and we're looking for default_md, and there we are. Now as you can see, default MD is MD5. That's no good. So we're changing this to SHA512. Okay. Now you can use SHA256. I'm just trying to future-proof it a little bit. It will still work with that, no problem. So once we've edited that, press Ctrl X, Y, and return. Now we need to generate a random file. So we'll go back to our browser here. I've already got it bookmarked, but this link will be in the description. So what we want is to download a file and generate 2048 random bytes. Get bytes. And now we see we've got this download box to download random numbers. Save file. So there are the random numbers that I've just downloaded. So we're going to go back into Webmin. Oh, should have opened a new tab really. Okay, so we're back in Webmin. What we're going to do is go to Others and then to File Manager. Now we need to go into root here, double click on there, and we need to upload a file. So File, Upload to Current Directory, and I can just drag and drop random numbers here and upload. And there, random numbers has appeared. So we'll just click on, can you see to the left of the icon for the file, there's like 3 little dots. Click on that. Go down to rename, and we're renaming it to .rnd, and click rename. And there we go. Go back to servers and then Open VPN plus CA. Certification authority list, so click on here. And we're going to change this, my CA as before. Keep the same format. And click on save. Now what this is doing is it's trying to generate a big prime number. Well, it did that quite quickly actually. Now you'll get an error down here. Can you see that? You don't need to worry about that. It doesn't matter. So don't freak out about that. It's fine. Go back to administrator, back into certification authority list, and then click on keys here, and we need to create our server and client key. So key name here, it's going to be server key. Why is that happening? We don't need a key password, we're not going to use that. Server. Okay, and that's pretty much all we need for that. Save. And now we have the server key. And this time we're going to create a client key, so client key 1. Now I'm putting numbers on here because you may want to create more clients. You know, if you have more than one device you want to connect to the VPN. So you just repeat this process over and over again for each different client. Client is fine. Again, we're not going to put a password in. Save. And there's client key 1. So back to the administration. Go to VPN list. And this is selected, which is good. Go to new VPN server. We'll change the name. This is going to be my VPN. Now the port and the protocol. Here I'm going to leave it as default, 1194 and UDP, but you can change these if you want, if you don't want it on the standard port. What's very common here is for this to change to 443 and TCP server. The reason for that is because it will allow it through most firewalls. But I'm going to leave it at the default. If you want to change that, you can. So coming down here, this is fine. Network, again we use the same 10.50.0.0 and use a net mask of 255.255.255.0. It's not the right net mask for that subnet. It should just be 255.0.0.0, but I don't care. Multiple clients with same blah blah blah. Okay, there's a lot more stuff in this, so let me just go through it. TLS, that's more security, we won't bother with that. You can put that on if you want, I suppose. Limit server, no. User, again I change this to root just in case I need to use this from Linux. It just makes things a little easier, but with Windows that doesn't matter. Keep alive, that's fine. Now there was a persist, here we go, yeah. Turn this on. All this does is it makes sure you keep getting the same address assigned to you. Just saves a hassle later on down the road. Right, what else have we got? We've got float. Again, I turn that on. And I turn that on because if you're connecting to the VPN from sort of a mobile device and you're going from place to place and from hotspot to hotspot, your IP is going to change and your local port is going to change all the time. So this will stop you from constantly getting disconnected. Doesn't always work, but it's worthwhile turning it on. Okay, in additional configurations, we need to put auth SHA512. This will tell OpenVPN that we're using 512-bit SHA message digest for authorization. And we also need to put in the required routing things. And that is the same as the other video, so I'm just going to paste this in. Again, this text is going to be in the description, so you can just copy paste that in from there. Oh, one more thing, sorry. I like to change this up to 256 AES. Just a bit more powerful security, and save. Okay, we're up. So we'll go to client list, new VPN client, client key, and we need the server IP in there. Let's grab that. Paste. And again, in this additional configurations, we need auth SHA512. Don't need all the pushes, that's already in the server, but we need it in there as well. And that should be good. So save. And there's our client key. So export that. It prevented us popping a pop-up. Where? Allow pop-up. Okay, so we're saving that. And there it is on the desktop there. So what we need to do now is set up the NAT. So if we go up into networking here and go to Linux Firewall, go down to network address translation NAT, and then down here packets after routing, post routing, okay, add a rule, and we want masquerade outgoing interface equals ETH0. Okay, and create. Now you probably want to set some IP tables here just to lock down the server. So on incoming packets I'm going to add a rule here. Okay, and this is going to be accept. Okay, and this is if the connection status equals existing connection. Create, add another rule, and accept. And this time it's going to be if the network protocol is equal to TCP and the destination port is equal to 22. And that will allow SSH connections. Okay. And I'm going to click on there, I'm going to click clone rule because it's only the port that's going to change. So this time it's 10,000, and that will allow Webmin to work through the firewall, and we also need to allow Open VPN through the firewall as well. So click on one of these, clone rule, and this time I'm going to select, instead of TCP, it's UDP, and it's port 1194. Now obviously if you change the port and the protocol, then reflect that here, but here I'm just using the defaults. And create. So check this thoroughly, because if you get this wrong, after you set the default action to drop, you'll lock yourself out. So just make sure everything is right here. And we're going to set the default action to drop, continue, and then apply configuration. Okay, so that's basically just locked the server down so that the only ports available are... Oh, hang on, what the hell? Don't know what happened there. Okay, let's save that. That's better. And apply configuration. And the last thing on the firewall is just to click yes here, and then click on activated boot. Okay, I'm just going to click apply configuration as well, just for the sake of it, but that should be the firewall setup. So now we need to get the Open VPN server to run. Unfortunately, this module is a little bit broken. That button doesn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the VPS through the shell again, and we're going to edit a file. So this is going to be nano /etc/default/open VPN, and in here you see where it says auto start all here, just remove that hash like that, then Control X, Y, return, and now I'm going to reboot. There are other ways of getting everything to start, but sod it, just reboot, doesn't take that long. So we'll give it a second to restart itself there. Okay, and we're back in. So let's just test to see if the server is running. So that's going to be service Open VPN at my VPN status. As you can see there, it's loaded, active and running. So we should be good to go. :Q. Okay, so if we go into our OpenVPN GUI here, right click and properties, you can see compatibility that I've got it running as administrator. Okay, go back to general, to shortcut, and then open file location, go back a folder, and then go into config. Okay, so now we're going to open our client key bundle here, and go into client key, grab all those files and drag them out over here. Do this for all current items and continue. Close that, minimize you. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So let's open a new tab here, and then I've got what's my IP thing bookmarked there. So as you can see, that's my current IP. In post I've probably blurred out the last two numbers, but the first two, 151.231, if those two change, then you know that it's worked. So let's open VPN. Okay, we're out, and there's the icon. Let's right click on it and then go to connect. Don't worry about those red warnings, they don't matter. And we're connected. So, yep, definitely connected. Click on refresh, and there we go. it's changed, and that obviously is the IP of the VPS. So there we go, updated procedure. Thank you for watching. Bye.